Guys, it's Jacob from StringBuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being the music journalism site, links are in the description down below, and we have a brand new song review for you today, and it's by David Guetta featuring Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne, and that's Light My Body Up, so I'm going to refer to the original article as I usually do for these videos, so I hope you enjoy. So I can't say I'm the biggest fan of David Guetta's music, or Nicki Minaj's music, or David Guetta and Nicki Minaj's collaborations in their music together, or even Lil Wayne's music. So coming to think of it, I don't really know what to expect from this track, so should we see what I thought of it anyway? Well, it's not horrible. I do think critics are probably going to pan the ever-living crap out of it, but it's just more forgettable for me rather than anything else. I didn't think it was bad, I didn't think it was broken, I didn't think it was just terrible. I thought it was passable, I guess. Nicki Minaj actually sounds probably the most generic she's ever sounded on this track though, and although I do hate the tones and timbres and styles she usually plays with, especially the personas she seems to put on because I find them more irritating rather than anything else, at least they are different and stylistic of her and recognisable as well, whereas in this track she kind of just sounds really safe and typical here. You could have replaced her with Zara Larsson and I wouldn't have noticed the difference. It's also great to see Lil Wayne turn up for a quick 10-second cameo at the end, putting in as short of a lackluster performance as he possibly could while still being eligible for a paycheck. You could basically not do less than what he did on this track and still be paid for it. I'm interested that sort of David Guetta has gone down this like trap route though, and I'm kind of glad he stopped making these cheesy summer tracks, but if you had taken his name off of this track, I doubt anyone really would have cared about who produced / mixed it. Production wise, it's just your typical pop trap mix with nothing really different from your typical trap formula that is around at the moment. So you've got big bass, a little amount of mid and high ground, one lead synth with a strange tone and some vocals, so not a lot to really mix here. The synth tone is jarring and annoying throughout the entire track, but somehow, in some way, I actually like the way it combined with the big bass during that chorus breakdown. For some reason it managed to create a texture the rest of the song didn't have, and it kind of worked fairly well. It gave the track this big driving feel for one or two sequences, which could be cited for inconsistency, but I actually enjoyed it nonetheless. Lil Wayne, as usual, sounds like he has a salmon bone stuck in his throat as he's coughing through a fan, but no amount of mixing could have saved that, so I'm not too miffed about his performance really, even though, like I said, it's pretty darn minimal. Nicki, well, her vocal track sounded like any other generic pop vocal track around at the moment, severely noise-gated, a little thin, and a little too tampered with. Nothing special, but nothing at all bad or anything like that, so all in all, it's a fairly functional production cycle rather than an exciting one. When it comes to the musicality of this track, I must admit I thought I was in for the long haul when the first verse sort of kicked underway. Yeah, it was a slog really. Nicki's subdued, slow rapping voice immediately felt tiresome and lacked any momentum to it. Heck, even the first half of the chorus which she's on when she started singing, I must say, sounded remarkably uninterested and dull. I think she sounded like she didn't really want to be there, hitting lackluster notes which are fine, but not particularly, as I've said, remarkable, that are well below her standards. She's a better vocalist than this. I think it's more down to the boring melodies that were put out for her, because I doubt she wrote it, than the actual performance itself, but it just didn't characterise her too well as an artist. The song form is copy and pasted, as you could probably sort of expect in a David Guetta track. The texture is pretty much snooze-worthy, as I said, throughout the majority of the track, apart from that little tiny bit, and there aren't any interesting or exciting timbres here. The bass is loud, but that's to fill a gap in the stereo field rather than anything else, and the song is just really, really predictable. I know it's meant to be a fun trap track, but it's more boring than fun, and the only fun I experienced throughout its entire runtime is that post-chorus breakdown. It's the first trap breakdown I've heard in probably the last year or so that actually made me feel like the song was some form of like urban anthem, giving a gritty and big sound a real platform to bounce off of, but then that would be followed by either like another dull verse by Nicki or that little tiny cameo by Lil Wayne, so it wasn't really enough to carry this track, was it? Lyrically, the track is horrendously cliche and again very safe and very boring to me, and it wasn't broken or anything like that, just a collection of really uninspiring and tiresome lines that we've heard 1,000 times before. So all in all, a pretty bog standard track with one, count 'em, one, and I just banged my arm on the table, one gleaming sequence that held it afloat. So yeah, it's not really worth it just for that little bit, but if you're a fan of all the artists, nothing I say here is going to deter you anyway, so why do you care? So I gave it a G rating of 5 out of 10, which is straight down the middle, average. So if you like this video, then please leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.